Obviously there must have been a script or two coming your way with Breaking Bad, wrapping up. What was it about this one that made you say, I want to devote my time to this?
I did read quite a few scripts when I was shooting the show, and I just wanted to do something that was completely different from what I was doing, and when I first saw this script on my desk, I was very hesitant to even read it. My first instincts were no. And nothing against the game. I think the game is a super fun ride, and they definitely know what they're doing. They made 18 of them. But I'm like, oh, they're making another video game into a film. I was just very hesitant to read it. Just wasn't really expecting much. But then I read it, and I was like, oh my God, I am having such a fun time reading this script. This is such a fun ride. And then with such incredible characters and hearts.
So much heart and
so much,
story,
yeah. And then when I got on the phone with this guy, his whole... This guy, Scott Waugh, our brilliant, fearless leader, director. I consider him a god, really. I got on the phone with him, and his whole vision behind it was really exciting. I thought quite brave. He wanted to do a film where he didn't want to rely on CGI or a green screen. He wanted to catch it all in camera, which I thought was incredibly brave, and he wanted to do a throwback to films that really, I think, kind of started the genre, like Bullet and Vanishing Point, and that's why I jumped into it.
Yeah, when I saw the clip from Bullet, I knew I was in good hands, finally. And I'm assuming, the Fast and Furious franchise, how do you differentiate for that? I'm assuming doing it all on camera was one step towards that. Was there anything else that you approached it like, wow, I got to make sure that this is different from that?
To me, the greatest car franchises of all time, which started in the 60s, Fast started in 2000, 40 years later. But you look at Bullet, Vanishing Point, Smokey, and The Bandit. They go on and on, but there was that era that they were all real. The stories were fun. There was great characters in that, and all the stuntmen did everything for real. And those were the movies we really looked at a lot. I called my dad and said, "So, what'd you guys do, on that? And how did it work?" And that was our focus. Like, we never went and looked at Fast and Furious as what not to do or what to stay different. We just wanted to just look at those movies because that's the kind of movie we wanted.
Doing it all, as real as possible. How does that affect your performance or your approach to the character?
It just makes it easier because you put yourself in that situation. You're not pretending like you're driving. You're actually driving. So you don't have that to worry about. You're already there. And like I prefer shooting on location rather than shooting on stage. Like I don't mind shooting on stage, but it's just for some reason it's just a different thing.
Can you tell me about the pod car? Now, the pod car I read was something in which you're in the car.
Yeah.
And someone else is actually controlling the speed and the steering. Is that correct?
Yeah. We used a pod car where.
It was on the supercars.
On the supercars,
because the cars, the interiors were so small.
Okay.
Yeah.
You couldn't even get the cameras in there without taking over the entire space. So Aaron would even be able to drive because he couldn't see. Right. So we built a pod on top that we'd had, some of the top performance race drivers would drive, so that it wasn't dangerous for Aaron to try and drive can't see with cameras all around him.
Yeah, but it was incredible. It was like the most realistic video game imaginable.
Right.
But whenever you are flying in a cul-de-sac and you're flying up to another crazy supercar, your instincts, and you're getting inches away from it, your instincts are just slam on the brake, and the brake does not work, and so you just gotta trust in. Tanner Faust was my pod car driver, who is just one of the greatest, I think. Stunt drivers there is, and he's great.
Do you find your own personal driving habits having changed at all, or you went to the stunt driving school?
I did, yeah. I did a lot of training for it. I was such a huge fan of cars since I was a kid, even more so now. But my driving habits, nothing's really changed at all. I'm such a calm, relaxed driver, never in a rush. And